Welcome to video on cloud infrastructure models. Cloud infrastructure model consists of IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. Cloud infrastructure model is also divided into two primary types of clouds, public and private. In this video, we are going to discuss about all these aspects, and beside this, there is another type of cloud which is now becoming very popular and common, known as hybrid cloud, that we are going to discuss. The objectives or the agenda that we have kept for this tutorial are as follows: define cloud IaaS, PaaS and SaaS, compare and differentiate between private and public cloud, and also explain hybrid cloud. In cloud infrastructure, when we think of a cloud, it is nothing but collection of hardware and software. This collection of hardware and software enables cloud computing. The cloud infrastructure contains both physical layer and abstraction layer. Physical layer corresponds to the hardware, and abstraction layer which isolates the operating system and applications that are running on the cloud. Physical layer, as I said, is nothing but hardware resources that are necessary to support the cloud services being provided. An abstraction layer is nothing but the software deployed across the physical layers. Now let me explain to you about the models of the cloud infrastructure. First of all, infrastructure as a service, or IaaS. This is a self-provisioning model that the consumers can use to deploy and run arbitrary software which are including operating system and applications. Management and control of this particular cloud, the customers do not manage the cloud infrastructure but control over the operating system storage and deployed applications. Technically speaking, the hardware is completely under the control of the provider. In infrastructure as a service, the deliverable are the IT infrastructure which is available on demand, and this on demand is nothing but the services rather than the hardware which is there. These on demand services are not dedicated, but they are available as and when required. The major players in this particular model of cloud infrastructure are Amazon, Rackspace, Cloud Compute and BizCloud, as well as Microsoft Azure. The second one in this family is the platform as a service, or PaaS. It basically offers the consumer oriented applications that can be hosted on the cloud. The consumers have control over the specific application hosting which are deployed, and they can also control the configuration of these applications. And then comes the software as a service, or SaaS. It primarily consists of software that is supplied by the vendor and the hardware infrastructure that the consumer accesses via multiple interfaces. The consumer has control over user specific application configuration settings. They can control which features of the application and who will have access to these applications. Some of the examples of this are Google Pack, which includes web applications such as Calendar, Gmail, Google Talk, Docs, etc. The consumer, who are user like us, have full control over the configuration settings of our calendar, our Gmail account, our Talk components and the documents that we store on Google Drive. Now look at the hierarchical relationship between the three models that we discussed: IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. SaaS, as it stands for software as a service, consists primarily of application software and application which can be accessed from anywhere. Now this is considered as the outermost layer, and then comes the PaaS, platform as a service. In this platform as a service, the information access, the access to the messaging services and connectivity components are residing. It is possible that I can have this PaaS and SaaS, but it is not possible that I can have these two without having IaaS, which stands for Infrastructure as a Service. Infrastructure consists of servers, network devices and storage. Now, if you look at this diagram, the hierarchical relationship consists of IaaS, which consists of the hardware, then the platform where you will have the different connectivity, messaging, etc., and finally the applications which will provide the functionality. Now, different models provide different kind of functionality. If you look at software as a service, it is suitable for industrial applications, business related application, collaborative computing, etc. However, if you look at the platform as a service, these are all services which are primarily using the storage which is provided by the provider, and it consists of Web 2.0 application runtime, database, Java runtime, etc. And infrastructure as a service is where your real servers are residing and which provide the entire functionality, network connectivity and also the storage. So, these three different types of infrastructures provide the different types of components which are hosted and located at different layers. Now, if you look at the cross concept matrix which has been shown to you here, we can very easily compare the different types of cloud models with respect to what exactly they have been offering and what has been the primary shift in terms of their paradigm, their characteristics, key terms and what not to use them for. What I mean to say here is, in this particular matrix, you can very clearly understand that which particular model is suitable for which type of requirement that a business has. If you already have the existing applications or you already have the existing platforms, you can always go for only hiring IaaS. However, in case you do not have these applications, etc., you may also need to hire IaaS and provide these applications. However, all the cloud companies offer you all these components, all these models as a collective component, as well as they also offer you them as separately. If you look at the advantages, you can look here that each one of this model has its own set of advantages and disadvantages. And these advantages and disadvantages are considered to be important while deciding which one to go and what to do. Here, if you look at it, IaaS, it is basically advantages reduced ROI. However, if you look at the disadvantage of this reduced ROI, in the sense IaaS, you will have the specific disadvantage in terms of vendors' capabilities may not be known to you, whether they will be able to sustain your required application infrastructure or not. If you look at PaaS, you have other advantages and disadvantages which are listed out over here. Now, next thing is the public versus private cloud. When we talk about public versus private cloud, we have to compare them in terms of various functionalities and infrastructure that is there. Let me give you some pointers so that you can understand whether a cloud is a private cloud or is it a public cloud. A private cloud is used by a single organization, whereas a public cloud is where it is open for the general public and it can be used or consumed by anybody. Normally, the private cloud is managed by the organization or a third party to whom they have given this particular cloud for management, whereas the public cloud may be managed by the business, academics, government, organization or many other parties who are owning this particular public cloud. Private cloud is normally consumed by multiple consumers, business units, etc. They may exist on or off the premises. However, when it comes to public cloud, the consumption is again going to be the same, that it can be consumed by anybody, be it a business unit or be it an individual. However, they exist on the premises of the cloud provider. So, keeping these highlights, keeping these pointers in mind, whenever you think about a public and private cloud, you can use these things to compare them. Now comes to a hybrid cloud. A hybrid cloud is a combination of two or more distinct cloud infrastructures, private as well as public and community. Now, when we talk about these cloud infrastructures, a hybrid cloud can be a combination of all of them, or it could be a combination of any two of them. The public and private cloud, they continue to remain as unique entities. However, they have been bound together by standardized or proprietary technology for seamless flow of data and applications. Precisely, it is something like a company is having its own data centers, and in order to use certain services of the cloud, they are able to connect to a public cloud, and their data can flow back and forth between these two clouds seamlessly. Now, this flow of data is actually provided by something called as the standardized or proprietary technology, which is available, known as hybrid computing. Now, one of the examples of hybrid cloud is cloud bursting. This particular phenomena is offered by IBM, where the private organizations can offload their data and their applications to a public cloud by hiring them. This process of offloading the application software, the data onto the public cloud is called as cloud bursting. Now, look at this small picture here to help you understand and explain. As we discussed, private cloud is on premises and in general internal in nature. However, the public cloud is off premises and external. The basic thing here is that the data flow and the application access is seamless between these two clouds. The infrastructures can talk to each other. The applications can send and receive data from either of the sites without the user coming to know about it. In hybrid cloud, you basically leverage the scalable and cost effectiveness of a public cloud offering, and you don't land up exposing your critical data to the external resources. It primarily provides the best of both the worlds while optimizing the use of infrastructure resources. Here, I would like to highlight one important area, that is that when we say that you do not expose your critical data to the external resources, it means you do not offload critical data from your private cloud onto the public cloud. And this can be achieved by careful planning and the cloud which is public, and what are the security arrangements which is available and operational on that particular cloud. Hybrid cloud helps organizations overcome the issues and concerns related to security and compliances. If at all there is a compliance requirement from various agencies or government laws in order to transport the data to a public cloud, the companies can withhold that data in their private cloud and can only transfer that data and that information to the public cloud, which is within the purview of the compliance. Let me summarize what we have covered in this video. The key points that we have discussed are IaaS, PaaS and SaaS. These are the different cloud infrastructure models. We have also seen in the comparison that when the capital budget is greater than the operating budget, IaaS should not be used. While private cloud infrastructure is used exclusively by a single organization, public cloud is operated open use by the general public. In hybrid cloud, the public and private clouds are bound together by a standard or proprietary technology which allows seamless flow of data.